magzine.it dal Festival di Giornalismo di Perugia. Abbiamo qui Claire Wardle, researcher al Town Center for Digital Journalism at the Columbia University. Hi, Claire.
Hi.
So please, Claire, is user-generated content easier to manage for millennials journalists, in your opinion?
No. There's this idea that young people have grown up with this, so they know all of this. But actually, when you work with younger journalists, they haven't actually had a chance to necessarily work for news gathering or discovery. So they're used to using it as a platform, but they haven't necessarily got the skills for very quickly to filter, to verify, even the ethics of public news gathering. They are specific skills that every journalist needs, and age doesn't make a difference.
In your opinion, which are the best tools that data journalists can use in this sense?
Well, the great thing about verification of user-generated content is that all the tools are free. So, for example, a Google reverse image search or Wolfram Alpha, which is an incredible kind of discovery engine, allows you to say what was the weather on the 10th of February in Damascus, Syria, and it will tell you, so you can check weather that way. I mean, Google Street Maps is a way of basically geolocating what you can see on a picture. Whois gives you information about who registered a website. All of these are free. All of these tools are free, and so there are free tools out there, and it's about the combination of all of those to build up a case to be able to verify a piece of content.
Okay. Do you think that systematic education to social media is necessary today for journalists?
Yeah, I think there's something very specific about doing news gathering around user-generated content. So often when people think about social media, it's about how to promote content, when actually it's very different when you are taking content to use and to verify and the rest of it. So even things like, how do you reach out to somebody who's just been involved in a breaking news event? What's the correct language? How can you deal with their trauma? How do you talk about rights? How do you talk about permissions? How do you talk about the legalities? These are very different. If I'd been talking to you, 6 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So the only way to do this is training, and I think sometimes people go, oh, it's just Twitter, we don't need to train on Twitter. Well, actually, we really do.
And which social media, in your opinion, is more interesting for news selection, and why?
So every platform works for different things. So even around the world, you'll find different platforms are better for different things. So something like Instagram a year ago wasn't really a player in this space, but actually now you'll find increasing numbers of news photos, because when people happen to be at a breaking news event, they take out their phone and they use their photo app that they use most frequently, which is Instagram. So people get obsessed with Twitter, but there's amazing content on Facebook. Facebook is more difficult to access, but there's amazing content because more people are on Facebook. So unfortunately, it's platform, but story to platform, area, country, language, there's a number of variables.
Yeah. Do you think that a journalist should concentrate on one media and not on another?
You mean one platform?
Yeah, just one for a journalist.
No, I think what journalists should have is their beat, their community, and they should spend time building up a community. So whether it's if you're a tech reporter, or whether it's a geographical community, or whether you're a science reporter, everybody has their own beat, and it's about, I think, concentrating on that rather than saying I know everything.
Okay. Is the border between news agencies and social networks still existing, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, increasingly newsrooms are turning to news agencies because they can't do this in-house. So the news agencies are providing user-generated content that has been discovered and verified. The platforms are just the tap running. I think agencies play quite an important role of kind of filtering that tap water.
Okay, and last question. What is for you journalism, just in a sentence?
Journalism is about information plus context. So that's either about telling stories, but it's information plus context.
Thank you very much.